Srimad Bhagavatam 4.28.1 Narada Vacha Sainika Bhayanam no he Barisman Distakarinaha Prajvara Kala Kanyabhyam Vicheru Avanim Imam. Narada Vacha, the great sage Narada continued to speak. Sainikaha, the soldiers, Bhaya Namnaha, of Bhaya, fear, ye, all of them, who, Barisman, O King, Prachina Bhai Sat, Distakarinaha, the order carriers of death, Prajvara, with Prajvara, Kalakanyabhyam, and with Kalakanya, Vicheruhu, travel, Avanim, on earth, Imam, this. Translation, the great sage Narada continued, my dear king, Prachina Bahiswat. Afterward, the king of Yamuna, whose name is fear itself, as well as Prajvara, Kalakanya, and his soldiers, began to travel all over the world. The great sage Narada continued, my dear king, Prachina Bahiswat. Afterward, the king of the Yavanas, whose name is fear itself, as well as Prajvara, Kalakanya, and his soldiers, began to travel all over the world. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The period of life just prior to death is certainly very dangerous because usually at this time people are attacked by weakness of old age as well as many kinds of disease. The diseases that attack the body are compared here to soldiers. But these soldiers are not ordinary soldiers, so they are guided by the king of the Yavanas, who act as the commander-in-chief. The word Distakarinaha indicates that he is their commander. When a man is young, he does not care for old age, but enjoys sex to the best of his satisfaction, not knowing that at the end of life his sexual indulgence will bring on various diseases which so much disturb the body that one will pray for immediate death. The more one enjoys sex during youth, the more he suffers in old age. Once the dangerous soldiers attacked the city of Puranjan with great force. Although the city was full of paraphernalia for sense gratification, it was being protected by an old serpent. As one's body engaged in sense gratification, it becomes weaker and weaker daily. Finally, the vital force becomes so weak that it is herein compared to a weak serpent. The life air has already been compared to a weak serpent. The life air has already been compared to the serpent. When the vital force within the body becomes weak, the body itself also becomes weak. Such a time, the death symptom, that is, the dangerous soldiers of death, Superintendent Yamaraj, begin to attack very severely. According to the Vedic system, before coming to such a stage, one should leave home and take sannyas to preach the message of God for the duration of life. However, if one sits at home and is served by his beloved wife and children, he suddenly becomes weaker and weaker due to sense gratification. When death finally comes, one leaves the body devoid of spiritual acid. At that time, at the present time, even the oldest man in the family does not leave home. Being attracted by wife, children, money, opulence, dwelling, etc. Thus at the end of life one worries about how his wife will be protected and how she will manage the great family responsibilities. In this way a man usually thinks of his wife before death. According to the Bhagavad Gita 8.6, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajante kalaivaram tam tam eva iti kauntaya sadhatad bhava bhavitah. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. At the end of life, a person thinks what he has done throughout his whole life. Thus he gets another body, Dehantaraha. According to his thoughts and desire, at the end of life, one overly addicted to life at home naturally thinks of his beloved wife. At the end of life, consequently in the next life, he gets the body of a woman. And he also acquires the result of his pious or impious activities. In this chapter, the acceptance of a woman's body by King Puranjan will be thoroughly explained. All glories to the women. Om Jnanatirandasya Gnanam Gida Shalaka Chakshurran Melidam Yanatasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Satvitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamam Didati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Shadvitam Shabadutam Parajanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shuta Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpataro Bhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaram Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharinen Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarinen Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we have two verses that we are going to discuss. The first one is that unrestricted sense gratification brings about a tremendous suffering in one's life. Yes? Where is it stated? Bhagavad Gita first. You enjoy your senses unrestrictedly, then you're going to get into a lot of trouble. All the Pandit. Huh? Don't know, come on. Huh? 316. What is 316?
Technically your breathing.
Okay, we'll go to 316.
Leads in the
We'll go first to this verse. We'll go here first, okay? You know this verse, right? This verse is Bhoga Aishwarya Prashaktanam. Bhoga and Aishwarya, those who are interested in enjoying Bhoga and opulence, Aishwarya, Prashaktanam, that means very attached to such a thing. Tayapaharta setasham vyavyasyatmika buddhi samadhavana vidyate. See this verse? In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So if you want to enjoy unrestricted sense gratification, you cannot get Krishna. You understand? Yeah? Right. When another thing here, we often quoted this verse. And this verse, you see here, Evam pravrittitam chakram nanu vartayatiha yaha agayor indraya ramo. This word indraya ramo means enjoying the senses. Agaho means sinfully. Understand? Mogam partha sajivati. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow a human sky's life, the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. Yeah? Living only for satisfaction of the senses, such person lives in vain. In other words, unrestricted sense enjoyment will only lead you into a lot of suffering. Says here, right? Also here, you don't follow. Same thing. If an ignorant person who does not conquer the material senses and does not adhere to the Vedic injunction, certainly will engage in sinful, irreligious activities. Thus his reward will be repeated birth and death. Correct? Can Aneka chitta vibhranta. This word vibhranta means bewilderment. This is in your language, I think, correct? Moha jala samamvrataha. Prashakta again, attached to kama bhogeshu. Is that the word? Patanti narake asucho. So that patanti means what? What? Anyone can guess. Patanti means what? What? Graduate. Go down. Naraka means what? Heaven. You go down to heaven. Where? Yeah. Anybody with a little brain can understand why you need to be a big Sanskrit scholar for this. You need to be a Sanskrit scholar for this. Right? And yet, They say no, Bhagavad Gita never teach all these things. What? Can you read? Read? So sense gratification is a no-go. It only brings about what? Suffering. It only brings about again, in other words that often we quote, same thing. If a human being is engaged in sinful, irreligious activities either because of bad association or because of his failure to control his senses, then such a person will certainly develop a personality full of material desires. He thus becomes miserly towards others, greedy and always anxious to exploit the bodies of women. And when the mind is so polluted, one becomes violent and aggressive, and without the authority of the Vedic injunction, slaughters innocent animals for sense gratification. Worshipping ghosts in spirit, the bewildered person falls fully into the grip of unauthorized activities and thus goes to hell. Right? Where he receives a material body infected by the darkest modes of nature, in such a degraded body he unfortunately continues to perform inauspicious activities that greatly increase his future unhappiness, and therefore he again accepts a similar material body. What possible happiness can there be for one who is engaged in activities inevitably terminating in death? You understand this point? If we just want to enjoy the senses, then we are asking for trouble. You understand? It is going to be bad news. That's why it is says that now you got this human body, this is what you are supposed to be doing. This is what you are supposed to be doing. Rishava Uvacha Nayam Deho Deho Bhajam Nirloke Kastakaman Harti Vidbhujam Ye Tapo Divyam Putrakayena Sattvam Sudayat Yasmat Brahma Saukyam Tva Anantam. See that? You see this line? Very important. Rishabdev told his son, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and for hawks that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activities, one's heart is purified, and once attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. See the big difference? The human life is meant for austerity. The human life is not meant for unrestricted sense enjoyment. Jai Shri Radha. Tapo divyam putrakaha yena. Right? Sanskrit. So human life is meant for austerity. It is not meant for sense gratification. If you want to enjoy the senses, then Animal life is better because animal can enjoy unrestrictedly and no problem for them. But if a human being like to live like an animal, then he will be degraded to the body of a animal. So therefore we should be very careful. Yes? Yes or not? You cannot say, I want to do what I like. It is not possible. If you want to do what you like, then Krishna will give the body that you don't like. That's all. If you want to get a body that you don't like, then you do what you like. Simple. You understand? Because you have no jurisdiction on what kind of body you are going to get. That's not within your... Right? Can you say? Can you control that? Cannot. So therefore, a foolish person will only do activities that are going to degrade himself. Therefore, human body is meant for austerity. Understand? The more you enjoy when you are young, it's now Prabhupada right in the purport, the more you enjoy in young, the more you are going to suffer. Yes? And the more austerities you do, the more you are. That's why this enjoyment is also limited. Yeah, you only can do this ashram, this householder is from the age of what? 25 to 50. That's the most. Pancha urdhvam vannam vrajat. The moment you hit 50, then you have to go to the forest. Yeah. You cannot think, no, I will live happily ever after. What is that? Fairy tale. Right? Jack and Jill went up the hill and they live happily ever after. Jack and Jill, yes, very nice. Yeah? She saw she kissed the frog and the frog turned into a prince. And then they live happily ever after. Very nice fairy tale. Understand? This thing doesn't work. That's why there is detachment. The idea of the detachment is to help everybody. You follow? So when you become detached, that means you restrict your sense enjoyment. And when you restrict your sense enjoyment, you can only restrict sense enjoyment when you get a higher taste. You cannot just go to the forest. There you will meet another person there and again you get married. Another problem. You understand? That the idea is to become attached to Krishna. Unless you attach to Krishna, you cannot give up. What is that word? Rasavrajam rasopiyasya. What is that? 240. 59. Vishaya venivartante nirahasya dehina rasavrajam rasopiyasya param dristva nirvartate. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense object remains. By ceasing such engagement, by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So this is the training, how to get attached. That's why we need the deity worship program. We need the association of devotees. You cannot practice detachment by staying at home. Is it possible? Possible. What? Prabhu, you do not know, Prabhu, how much Krishna conscious I at home. Yes. It's difficult. You understand? That's why Prabhupada wanted the temple. We have to come here, associate with the Buddhists, right? Learn how to engage in Krishna's service. It's very important. So by coming, associating, then the mood of detachment will come. Otherwise, you see what will happen. we're going to read this thing here. This is going to be bad news. Let's read this chapter. Let's read it from here. Yes. All right, we'll read this whole chapter. Very interesting. The same point has been very nicely explained by Kapila. The personality of Godhead said, as a mass of cloud does not know the powerful influence of wind, a person engaged in material consciousness does not know the powerful strength of time factor by which he is being carried. Okay? Huh? Whatever is produced by the materialist with great pain and labor for so-called happiness, the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the time factor destroys, and for this reason the conditioned soul laments. Yes, it's a fact. Now you see everybody is crying. Why they cry? Everything is finished. Yes. All that they built in the year 2020, they were hoping, wow, this 2020 will be a very dynamic year. Yes, it became so dynamic, they all became broke. Correct? You see how the Lord, in a moment, the misguided materialist does not know that this very body is impermanent and that the attraction for home, land and wealth which are in relation to the body are also temporary. Out of ignorance only he thinks that everything is permanent. Yeah? The living entity, in whatever species of life he appears, finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species, and is never averse to being situated in such a condition. I mean, you put him in the body of a cockroach also, he is happy. Or you put him in the body of a demigod, or you put him in the body of, in hell, also, yeah. You see, next verse. The conditioned soul, the conditioned living entity is satisfied in his own particular species of life. While deluded by the covering influence of illusory entity, he feels little inclined to cast off his body, even when in hell, for he takes delight in hellish enjoyment. Even in hell he is happy. See how the attachment, you understand? Such deep satisfaction with one's standard of living is deep-rooted. Attraction for body, wife, home, children, animals, wealth and friends. In such association, the conditioned soul thinks. In such association, the conditioned soul thinks himself quite perfect. So he's very happy. You know, he thinks that, wow, everything is very good. Although he is always burning with anxiety, such a fool always performs all kinds of mischievous activities with a hope which is never to be fulfilled, in order to maintain his so-called family and society. You know, he is trying so many ways to make it all perfect. He gives heart and senses to a woman who falsely charms him with Maya. He enjoys solitarily embraces and talking with her, and is enchanted by the sweet words of the small children. Right? I am not speaking, please think that I am always anti. What to do? I am just the verses here. I am picking it out. What? It's my fault. The attached householder remains in his family life, which is full of diplomacy, politics, and constantly spreading miseries. Restricted in acts of sense gratification, he acts just to counteract his miseries. And if he can successfully counteract such miseries, he thinks that he is happy. Wow, everything is alright. My wife is peaceful today. As long as my wife is peaceful, wow, it's alright, everything is alright. Yes? Yeah? See, this verse. Come on. He secures money by committing violence here and there. Although he employs it in the service of his family, he himself eats only a little portion of the food thus purchased. And he goes to hell for those for whom he earned the money in such irregular way. You know, they think, what is the word? Justice is the meaning. God doesn't matter. Come on, this is life. I mean, I have to maintain my family. What to do? Correct? Yes? And he engaged in sinful work. You are right. He feeding his family. He says here, he goes to hell for those for whom he earned the money in such irregular way. Understand? Yes, everything is messed. You got time, you please read this purport. It's all very, very important purports. I am going just the verses. When he suffers reverses in his occupation, he tries again and again to improve himself, but when he is baffled in all attempt and is ruined, he accepts money from others because of excessive greed. Thus, the unfortunate man, unsuccessful in maintaining his family members, is bereft of all beauty. He always thinks of his failure, grieving very deeply. Seeing him unable to support them, his wife and others do not treat him with same respect as before. Even as miserly farmers do not accord the same treatment to their old and worn out oxen. So when things go bad, he cannot, maintain, then the language also change. A foolish family man does not become averse to family life, although he is maintained by those whom he once maintained. Deformed by the influence of old age, he prepares himself to meet ultimate death. So you see, he doesn't give up, he is still at home, attached. Thus he remains at home just like a pet dog and eats whatever so negligently given to him. Afflicted with many illnesses such as dyspepsia and loss of appetite, he eats only very small morsels of food. He becomes an invalid who cannot work anymore. So he is like a pet dog in the house. Then what happens? In that diseased condition, one eye bulges due to the pressure of air within his hands, his glands become congested with mucus, he has difficulty breathing, and upon exhaling and inhaling he produces sound like gura gura, rattling within the throat. Cannot even chant Hare Krishna, he is chanting gura gura. Huh? Indigestion? Moment you grow old, everything goes. In this way, he becomes under the clutches of death and lies down, surrounded by lamenting friends and relatives, and although he wants to speak with them, he no longer can because he is under the control of time. That means what? Cannot talk anymore. Finish. Understand how painful it is? Thus the man who is engaged with uncontrolled senses in maintaining a family dies in great grief. Seeing his relatives crying, he dies most pathetically in great pain and without consciousness. Don't think that when you die, he died peacefully. What peaceful? Is there peace there? Is that what peace is there? Tell me. What is that? He dies most pathetically, understand the word? And in great pain and without consciousness. Come on.
This is happening in every year.
Huh? No, he had a very peaceful death, you know. What? What? Somebody is lying. I am sure the man who died, he will definitely not be lying. But he cannot speak anymore. Finish. So don't think that when death comes, yeah, simple, I just transmigrate. What? Understand? This is not finished when you die. When you enjoy the senses, it's not that it's over. Finish, he died, you burn him and finish it. No? At death, he sees the messengers of Lord of Death who come before him, their eyes full of wrath, and in great fear he passes stool and urine. My goodness, if you go to somebody who has died and you see stool and urine, means good luck. You better pray for him hard. Who has taken him? Who? What? Who has taken him? Who? Yes. And you see that Yamadutas, who is so fearful, he passes urine and stool. Actually, for such people who are sinful, they pass out of the body through the anus. Two ways of passing out. One through the mouth, going up, and through the anus going. Understand? The soul passes in two ways. As a criminal is arrested for punishment by the constables of the state, a person engaged in criminal sense gratification is similarly arrested by the Yamaduta, who bind him by the neck with strong rope and cover his subtle body so that he may undergo severe punishment. Immediately they put another body onto the soul, and it says within how many minutes, not even minutes, seconds, you are gone to the hellish planet already. You know, it's not finished. It's not that you drive on a what, Yamaraj brings some car for you, take you. Yeah. You think so? Yamaraj brings the car and take you there? You see how you go. Look. It is only to, while carried by the constables, the Yamaraj is overwhelmed and trembles in their hands. While passing on the road, he is bitten by dogs. And he can remember the sinful activities of his life. He is thus terribly distressed. Understand? He is made to walk on the burning road, no water. And he is bitten. And he is bitten in both ways. He is beaten and bitten. English word is so good. One word, it is spelling beaten and beaten. Both. Understand? And he faints. You are no water. The sun is so hot. I'm telling you. And not only that, he remembers all the nonsense he has done. Prabhu, I think it is really fun here. This one we must make a movie. The Bollywood should be contracted to make this movie. Yes? And all the rape cases will stop for sure. Yes? And then what happens? Under the scorching sun, the criminal has to pass through roads of hot sand with forest fires on both sides. He is whipped on the back by the constables because of his inability to walk, and is afflicted by hunger and thirst. But unfortunately there is no drinking water, no shelter, no place for rest on the road. I think it is really fun, boys. Yes? You want to go through this path? We all have been anyway, just reminding us of it. Maybe you did not go. I am sure I have been there many times. You see how terrible this is. While passing on the road to the abode of Yamaraj, he falls down in fatigue and sometimes he becomes unconscious, but he is forced to rise again. In this way, he is very quickly brought into the presence of Yamaraj. Yeah. He has to pass 99,000 yojanas. 99,000 means how much? Times by 8. I think Prabhupada giving 792,000 miles in a few seconds. Isn't that? Almost 800,000 miles in 2 or 3 moments. And then he is at once engaged in torturous punishment which he is destined to suffer. 800,000 miles is quite a long journey, but you cover that in 2-3 seconds, moments. But you are going there, it seems like it never ends. Although it is a short journey, for you, you think it is never ending. Understand? So long, suffering. Even before you go and see Yamaraj already, how much suffering? The consequence. He is placed in the midst of burning pieces of wood and his limbs are all set on fire. In some cases he is made to eat his own flesh or have it eaten by others. These are all the punishments you go through. Yeah. Then when he finished this punishment, his entrails are pulled out by the hounds and vultures of hell, even though he is still alive to see it, and is subject to torment by serpents, scorpion, gnats and other creatures that bite him. Just now we read, even in hellish planet also he is becoming very happy. Next, his limbs are lopped off and torn asunder by elephants. He is hurled down from hilltops. He is also held captive either in water or in a cave. These are all the hellish punishments. Man and woman whose lives are built upon indulgence in illicit sex life are put into many kinds of miserable conditions in the hells known as Tamishra, under Tamishra and Raurava. Lord Kapila continued, my dear mother, it is sometimes said that we experience hell or heaven even in this planet, for hellish punishment are sometimes visible on this planet also. You understand why it is so? For us to see and learn. Sometimes we say, all this story is Hindu mythology. What? Hindu mythology. So Krishna makes this situation here itself very to teach us. Look at this. Yes, this Kapila is saying. After leaving this body, the man who maintains himself and his family by sinful activities suffers a hellish life, and his relatives suffer also. Not that only he suffers, relatives also, everybody implicated. He goes alone to the darkest regions of hell after quitting the present body, and the money he acquired by envying other living entities, the passage money with which he leaves this world. And all the punya and the karma is only going with him. Nothing else he takes. You understand? It says here. The passage money is what? All the envy. It's going to be bad news, if we try to be what? Messing around. Thus, by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maintainer of kinsman is put into a hellish condition to suffer for his sinful activities, like a man who has lost his wealth. Therefore, a person who is very eager to maintain his family and kinsmen simply by black methods certainly goes to the darkest region of hell, which is known as Andatamishra. Having gone through all the miserable hellish conditions and having passed in a regular order through the lowest forms, animal life, pirate to human life, and having thus been purged of his sin, one is reborn again as a human being on this earth. I mean, that's going to be again another how many millions of years. From the lowest, you start again. I mean, can you imagine? It says here, hellish condition and having passed in a regular order through the lowest forms of animal life to human life. It is nice. Huh? This is nice. Huh? So this is very bad, you know. You're going to be attached. That's why Prahlad Maharaj said to his father, yeah? You know that verse? Under Kupam? He said, you should get out. He told his father, of course his father didn't like it. His father says, you think you know better than me. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Tat sadhu manyesu asuravivarya deginam sada samudvekna diyam asakrahad hitva atmapatam graha andakupam vannam gato yadharim astriyeta. Prahlad Maharaj replied, O best of the Asuras, king of the demon, as far as I have learned from my spiritual master, any person who has accepted a temporary body and temporary household life is certainly embarrassed by anxiety because of having fallen in a dark well where there is no water but only suffering. One should give up this position and go to the forest, Vanna. More clearly, one should go to Vrindavan where only Krishna consciousness is prevalent and should thus take shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. You cannot go, at least you come here. There is no other choice, you know. This is what Durvasha was saying. And this is what he spoke. O my Lord, O Supreme Controller, without knowledge of your unlimited prowess, I have offended your most dear devotee. You kindly save me from this reaction of this offense. You can do everything. For even a person is fit for going to hell. You can deliver him simply by awakening within his heart the holy name of your Lordship. In other words, if you chant Krishna's name, even in dreams you will not see. You will not see Yamadutas, even in dreams. Yeah? Although not having fully realized Krishna, persons who have even once surrendered completely onto His lotus feet and who have been attracted to His name, form, qualities and pastimes, completely free of all sinful reaction, for they have thus accepted the true method of atonement. Even in dreams, such surrendered souls do not see Yamaraj or his order carriers who are equipped with ropes to bind the sinful. So you think you should not chant the holy name? Because you want to see Yamaraj, right? Huh? Think. How important to put your hand inside the bead bag? Not just put the bead bag only and hold the beads, You have to do something else. You have to chant. Correct? If you chant, and everything is adjusted. Then you see, like Ajamil, he was staying in the house, he chanted. Correct? They got delivered. So the chanting is the most important thing to do. But of course, if you can be in the association of devotees, then the best. Then detachment will come. Otherwise, very dangerous. Okay, anything else to add on this verse? I think you can read the purport of that whole chapter, 330. A very interesting purport Prabhupada said. So we all have made mistakes. At least this life we try to perfect it by becoming a little serious. Best way to become serious, as always explained here, one should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. A devotee thus develops his loving friendship. They feel mutual happiness and satisfaction, and by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. So please take this all seriously, before it is too late. Let us work and prepare ourselves in such a way that never come back again. Alright? So, any questions, comments? No questions? Is there any questions in that? Anybody? Nobody asking question? Okay, huh? Alright, thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.